Hi, and welcome. Last time I did my newsletter, I asked the question, what would you like to know about my process or my life or whatever? And so I picked out some questions that people asked, and I wanted to share that with you as we watch a speed painting of Glory Be. So the first question that I chose is from Chris from Arlington, Texas. And she asked, "What's your favorite brand of acrylic paint?" Well, I used to use a lot of the 2-ounce bottles of craft paint, the varieties of like Americana and Folk Art and Ceram Coat. I liked them because doing tutorials, I could just have the students go and pick those colors and they wouldn't have to worry about mixing colors. The problem that I found with that, I mean, these are quality paints. They're fine. I've painted a lot of my paintings with them, and I've never had any issue with fading or anything like that. So they're perfectly fine. But I found that some of the paints would be discontinued, and I plan on having my tutorials available for years to come. But obviously, this is an issue if colors are discontinued. And so what I decided to do is start using uh, Golden brand acrylic paints. They are very high quality paints and easy to work with, easily accessible. And now I teach the students how to mix the paint, which I think is actually a better way of teaching. So my favorite brand of acrylic paint is Golden, and Golden has different kinds too. They have a heavy body acrylic, which is a thicker paint, and then they have open acrylics, which um, they stay wet longer. Basically, they're designed to be used outside painting so that they don't dry too quick, and you can continue to work with them outside. So anyway, there's different kinds of acrylic, golden acrylic paints, so you can kind of test them out and see which ones you like the best. And then question number 2, were you ever afraid to put your art out there for fear of being criticized? And that question's from Tammy from Fairfax, Virginia. I never was afraid to put my art out there. I'm not really sure why. I don't have a lot of fear when it comes to business or art. A lot of it has to do with the confidence you have in your art. And if you don't have that confidence, then my advice would be to just continue to paint. And because the more you paint and the better you get, the more confidence you're going to have. And you won't be afraid, to put your art out there. And no matter what, you're not going to make everyone happy. Not everybody's going to like your art, because if you're set out to do that, then you're setting yourself up for some disappointment. But just be confident in yourself, confident in your art, because if you like it, there's going to be people out there that like it too. So don't hide it from the world, show it to the world, and let people, enjoy your vision and your creativity. The third question is from Monica from Akron, Ohio, and she asked, oh no, I used to make quilts with your fabric. Will you ever go back to designing fabric for the quilt market? That's a really good question. I used to design a ton of fabric back in the day, a long time ago. I really enjoyed it, and it was it was really successful. I designed like 6 what do you call them, collections a year, and it was the bulk of my painting back then because there was a lot of paintings that went into designing a whole collection. I haven't designed fabric now in probably 7 or 8 years, and I really don't see myself going back to designing fabric for a particular manufacturer. However, I'm in the process of learning how to do repeat patterns. I'm taking a class on how to take my art into Adobe Illustrator and create a repeat pattern, like an all over pattern, so that I can design my own fabric and offer it to the public. So I will be designing fabric, but it will not be necessarily in the quilt industry, but it will be available. The fourth question I have is from Emily from Franklin, Pennsylvania, and she asks, "What is next on the horizon for you?" I am in the process of creating a new website where a person can go and design a whole room with product that features my artwork. This is going to be a huge a huge task for me, but I'm building the site now. I'm working with different manufacturers uh, in drop shipping and that type of thing, and I'm hoping to get my licensees on board as well to do some drop shipping so that I could have, a duvet cover and pillows, curtains, rugs. You could design a whole room with coordinating pieces that would feature my art. So that I'm in the process of creating that site, and that is going to be a huge endeavor, but I'm so excited about it. I can't even stand it. So I will be announcing that soon. I guess I'm announcing it now, but as far as when the store is actually open, I will be announcing that through my newsletter and through Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. So stay tuned for that. The next question, number 5, is from Jill. And she asks, "I love your angel strokes tutorial, and I wanted to know if you were going to offer more angel painting tutorials." I do plan on offering more tutorials. Uh, I have an angel tutorial that will come out the spring of 2018. And then in the fall of 2018, I plan to offer quite an extensive tutorial called 30 Days, 30 Faces. And that will be painting faces. First of all, we're going to start out with learning how to draw a face and how to shade it and just get into a lot of detail of, why we, shade in certain areas and then highlight in certain areas and just kind of get that down pat before we start painting. So it's going to be done with a pencil, and we're going to study, the bone structure and things so that you have a deep understanding of how to draw a face. And then we're going to move into 30 different faces, but we'll do, charcoal, we'll do pastel, we'll do acrylic, just using different media and different faces. And so, anyways, it's going to be called 30 Days, 30 Faces. You don't have to do it in 30 days, but I thought it was kind of a catchy name for a tutorial. I don't think I'm going to have any more tutorials this year, 2017, because of opening my new retail store is going to take me a lot of time. So making tutorials is a huge, huge endeavor. I mean, it takes a long time with, editing and filming and all of that stuff. So in 2018, I plan on offering 2 new tutorials, and I really plan on doing, that's my goal anyway, is to offer 2 new tutorials a year. So that is what I have planned for the future. Question number 6 is from Pam from Carmel, Indiana. And Pam writes, "Hi Teresa, I'm a big fan of yours and have been since you first started years ago. With all the different avenues of creativity, how do you find time for it all?" Well, thank you for that, Pam. That's a really good question. It's not it's not easy. I mean, I have to be really good at my time management, but I am an early riser. I get up at like 5:15 every day, and I just have my day planned out the night before. So, like before I go to bed, I know when I get up in the morning, I have a morning ritual that I do, and then I have my to do list already finished so that when I get into the studio, I know exactly what I'm going to be working on. Something I did recently that has helped too is I only have a couple days a week that I try to fill my orders, my retail and wholesale orders, because I used to just as they came in, I would fill them. And it just can be really distracting. So I usually, Monday definitely is a day for me to fill orders. And then for my wholesale orders, I really try to get those out right away because I mean these are stores and they have customers that may have ordered something from them, so they want to please their customers. So I make sure to get my wholesale orders out like the day of or the next day. But as far as when retail orders come in, it's nice to just Monday and Thursday to ship those orders, and it just keeps the flow going well, and it helps me out tremendously too. But I think time management is it's not really even um, it's it's not even time management because you can't manage time. Time marches on no matter what. It's more about just organizing yourself and first of all knowing what your goals are and staying focused on those goals. Uh, I obviously have a little bit more involved with all of the things that I do because I do design patterns and I have 2 releases a year for my punch needle and my cross stitch patterns. So I have a show in Nashville in March, the 1st of March every year. So I had there's certain times in the year where I'm working on something more exclusively, if that makes any sense. So when I'm preparing for my wholesale show to sell my patterns to, needle art shops, that takes a huge amount of focus. So maybe a month or 6 weeks, I might not paint a lot because I'm focused on that. When I go to Atlanta in January and I meet with my licensees, well, when I get home, you know, after those meetings, I have art that I need to get done for them. So my schedule, changes a lot depending on the time of year. My calendar, my teddy bear calendar, the art is due, the first part of April. I need to have at least 6 of those paintings done. And I know that because it's the same every year. So I just plan that in. Um, and then, my tutorials, that's something I do on my own. And so that's very flexible. I don't have like certain deadlines for that. That's just, whenever I can. So just being organized and managing your time and managing your tasks and, look ahead um, and planning everything out. You know, that's best advice I can give to anyone that has a lot of things going on. So that's it. I hope this is helpful or, entertaining for you. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.